we left off, you guys had been voluntold to go into the Tomb of Silence to clear out any residual nastiness left behind by Kafie, the leader of the Numerian Starter Dungeon. Yeah, so that's kind of where we're at right now.
We were given a quartermaster to ask for things from, if I remember right.
Indeed, you were directed to rest up, speak with the quartermaster, make any provisions and preparations you felt were appropriate before heading down to your doom.
Mm-hmm.
Doom and demise.
So the first thing that Vegrek needs to do is give Ren back her mirror. So if there's some downtime, if they're resting, I don't know if she's unconscious, but whatever she's awake, he's gonna do that.
Yeah, she kind of stormed off.
Yeah. All right, then he's gonna follow her. Pardon me, Lady Ren. Something just occurred to me.
What do you want?
Oh, and I hold out the mirror. You dropped this a bit a ways ago, and it doesn't belong to me, and I thought you might like it back.
Are you playing with me right now?
No?
Whatever, I don't have time for this. Grabs the mirror, keeps storming.
Okay, thank you. That's all.
Is there a resource area, like a library, anywhere she could go to try to read up on the tomb?
Okay, yeah. Make an investigation check.
9.
She doesn't find a library as such. Instead, she finds a magic shop is not quite the right word, but that's definitely kind of what they're doing here.
Is Kiona going with Ren? Because if she's not, then Vegrek is.
Kiono had headed off to the breakfast cafeteria, which is separate from the other cafeterias. It's an exclusive.
I'm pretty sure Kiono is going to go to bed after breakfast.
Yeah, Kiono's plan was food, then bed.
Because awake for 36 hours isn't great.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, Ren might also want to look at sleeping soon, right?
Oh yeah, she's exhausted. I don't know how she's still standing, honestly.
In either case, because Kiono isn't protecting her at the moment, Vegrek is going to keep an eye on her. Because he has to.
Sure.
Yeah, Kiono doesn't quite realize that she's been handed Ren to protect.
Okay.
So I found a magic shop thing?
Yeah, you find your way over to it's called the Hidden Grotto.
What time of day is it at this point?
Right now we're looking at kind of early morning.
But
it is a magic shop, and if you go inside, check it out. The door is open. The room that you enter into is large and circular. There are 4 kind of. It's not quite accurate. There are basically 2 rows of bookshelves stacked on top of each other that are the walls of this circular chamber. There is a counter at the far end when you come in, but it's mostly these rows and rows of books. And the top half of the shelves are all very neat and orderly. Just at first glance, they seem to be shelved appropriately. Meanwhile, the bottom 2 rows of shelves, would be easy for you to reach, are chaos. They're like, the top row books are all neat and orderly and spine out, and the bottom rows are like, wherever it can be stuck, it has been stuck. Some shelves are just stacks of books On the cover, just stacked up. There are papers stashed everywhere. It's kind of a mess on this bottom half. You don't immediately see anybody in here, however. There is kind of a table off to one side. Doesn't seem to be anywhere to sit, but that's kind of where the situation right now. Above the 2 rows of bookshelves is a row of windows, all of which seem to be kind of curtained. And then you, with your dark vision, you can make out the ceiling, and you give me a perception check as well.
Okay. 7.
Yeah, that's pretty much the situation.
Can I make a perception check?
Yeah, if you went with her, go right ahead.
I'm gonna go ahead too, since I'm also here. Yep, that's a 0.
Oh,
Wow.
Meg, your life is misery.
It's fine. I think I saw a book.
We're in a place that has air that I can breathe.
4 walls?
Vegric just is not. He's looking around at. Man, this is a ton of books. I wonder if there are any adventure stories. Just like low key excited and distracted because of it, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Ondo, even without dark vision, like it's not pitch in here, and you kind of take in this same scene, and you notice something is attached to the ceiling. Just a small, fuzzy.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's Spider-Man. Spider-Man is attached to the ceiling, and he's looking down at you, and he says, "Hey, you guys, want to go to New York where it's Spider-Man?" No. There's just this fuzzy lump attached to the ceiling.
Fuzzy lumpkins.
Does it look like an animal? Does it look like a mineral?
Is it bigger than a bread box?
Fuzzy in an animal kind of way.
All right. How high is the ceiling in this room?
The ceiling in this room is about it's about 25 feet high.
Well, can't do anything about that right now, so I'm just going to keep an eye on it
Okay,
because I don't want to freak out Ren by pointing it out.
that's valid.
Smart.
I'm gonna probably just go over and start looking at the books. And I'm gonna be real with you here. I'm pretty tired. I'm probably just gonna be kind of sort of trying to read the titles and not really make sense of them, and then just crash, standing, fall asleep.
All right. Is there anything in particular you're looking for?
Yeah, anything about the Tomb of Silence. It really just has no idea what to do, so anything is better than nothing.
Okay. Give me an investigation check with disadvantage, just because of how tired you are here.
7.
7. Yeah, you're looking at books, and you're like, books. This isn't what I need right now. I need sleep. And yeah, you fall asleep standing up, I guess.
This is becoming a trend.
Does she fall asleep standing up? Is she leaning up against a bookshelf? Like, what does this look like?
I figure her head falls into the bookshelf, so she's leaning against that and drooling
Alright.
a little.
This looks like 4 points of falling damage.
All right, yeah. So leaning up against the shelf, kind of thunk and snoring softly.
Oh, did you find something? You're taking an awfully close look, if I might contribute. Lady Ren? Lady Ren?
I'm going to walk over and just gently, pick her up if I can without waking her.
Okay. I don't think it's an issue of strength, but give me a dexterity check.
Dex check to pick someone up. It's amazing.
Well, just more the don't wake her up part of this.
Oh yeah, no, it's just
Um,
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
No one ever
you
is careful.
managed to gently just scoop her up, princess style, and You have a sleeping Lady Wren.
Take me now, Ondo Thondo Thondo.
Wow.
Yeah, so I glance at Vegric. I think we should find Lady Wren somewhere to lodge for a few hours.
Sure, okay. Did she whisper to you? Or something?
Well, no, I was under the impression that she hadn't slept in quite a while. That's something people need to do, correct?
Yeah. Wow, I suppose I haven't been paying attention. Yeah, sure, let's, find her somewhere to be. We have an inn. There's an inn, there's, it's white and blue, and we had a room there.
We go to the what was it?
Yeah, you go to leave and you hear this weak voice from behind the counter. No, customers, come back. And you see this, she's got deep purple hair done up in long pigtails. She's kind of sitting up. She's got very sharp features. Not sure if she's human or an elf. She's got kind of like this blanket kind of wrapped up around her right now. And she's kind of crawling up to the counter and kind of just reaching out in your direction, just completely asleep. Don't go.
We'll be back in shortly. We just need to take care of something.
Promise?
Yes, I promise.
Okay, bye-bye. And she kind of just sinks back down behind the counter.
Vegric. What was that?
I don't know.
All right.
Was the cashier like talking in her sleep?
She was talking to you, but she wasn't very awake at the time.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna lead Ondo back to the inn.
Okay. You head back to the inn.
Right, so we have 2 rooms, and one of them's for me, and one of them is for Lady Wren, and so far we've not been broken into. Just over this way.
Yeah, you were, I believe, given a key.
Yeah,
I think we
I
got
remember.
that squared away. Yep, you have Lady Wren's key to her room. Get her in there without issue.
Tuck ran in to her bed,
Aw.
closed the door.
Now, she didn't want me in the same room as her, so I'm going to remain at my post in the other room, listening, and I suppose we'll rejoin you when it's time to venture into the dungeon.
Well, all right. Are you sure you didn't need to make any preparations?
Well, I think I'm alright. This equipment has served me well, up until now. If there is any kind of exclusive equipment that we are going to need, would you do me a favor and pick up an extra set for me?
Just of course.
You know,
I'll,
kind of a
keep an eye out for
situation-specific.
you and Lady Wren.
Of course, absolutely. I can't believe I forgot about her. Thank you.
Just let me know if you have anything you want to request. I'll rejoin you later.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So, yeah, what does Kiana just eats, goes to bed at the barracks there?
Yeah. No, she doesn't know how to prepare for this.
That's fair. All right. Yeah. Ando, what are you doing with your entire day that everyone is gonna sleep through?
Oh, this is gonna be a thing. I'd go back to the bookshop first, I guess, because I promised that I would.
It's
Okay.
very sweet of you.
So you do head back to the bookshop, and by the time you return, the woman is a little more composed and awake. She is sitting on a stool behind the counter, kind of leaning on it, furiously scratching notes in a notebook while she has 2 or 3 or 4 books open beside her. And she has a enormous mug of coffee that, if you have a sense of smell, which I think we established that you did, it's strong. But yep, she's dressed in overalls over kind of a sweater, just to ward off the chill. And she's got her hair's actually been pulled back into a single ponytail, and you can see her pointy ears indicating some kind of elven lineage. And she's kind of just sitting there doing work and completely oblivious to your entrance.
I think I just start perusing the books, looking for anything on the Tomb of Silence, or, for that matter, anything on Akaris.
Okay, give me an investigation check.
21.
Heyo.
Nice.
Nice.
You do eventually, once you figure out the lack of file system for the books that you're able to reach, you do find a handful of books on the Tomb of Silence. And you find a single leather volume that you're not sure what calls to you about it, but you do find just this simple leather book. It's not very thick. There's no distinguishing marks about it, but you pick it up and put it on your stack of books anyway. Just it seems like the right thing to do.
I don't like that. I don't trust like that.
I do. All right. This is a bookshop, correct? Not like a library.
Do you
This isn't
ask
the kind
that?
of place. I mean, like, just looking around, I don't see any seating. This isn't the kind of place where you
Yeah,
take a
there's
book.
no seating. There's nothing that is indicates that this is a lounge kind of place.
Yeah, so not the kind of place I could just pop down and start studying. Yeah, I take the books over to the counter then.
You're a
Okay.
robot. It's not like you need to sit anyway.
Stand reading is wrong. Anyway. Okay, yeah, you take your books over the counter, and the woman looks up at you and says, "Oh, hey, you're back. Hey, how's it going? What you got there? Some light reading?"
Yes, just researching ancient tombs.
Oh, yeah. We have one of those. Well, sort of. The tomb, did you know, is a bit of a misnomer. Like, nothing. I mean, yeah, people died there, probably, definitely, but it's not like some specific entity is entombed there. Sort of.
Oh?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not that it's necessarily untrue, I guess, but Sarek was a weird guy. He named all of his dungeons, and he made just an unreasonable amount of dungeons. They were all like the tomb of whatever, usually the tomb of whoever went there, because again, super dangerous.
I see. Interesting. Do you have any information about how you might, say, I don't know, cleanse an ancient evil inside a tomb?
I mean, usually with some kind of, I mean, if you're looking for, depends on the specific nature of what you're trying to do. Like, you could bind an entity, you could disperse it, you could banish it, you could, just murder it real good. usually works. Um,
Probably going to skew towards that last one, if I'm being completely honest, ma'am.
oh yeah. That's that's how the heroes of old and all of the normal current ones and have probably the ones in the future will do it. Vanquish evil, evil gets vanquished. Rinse and repeat, right?
I love her.
But yeah, she's just kind of looking at you expectantly.
Great. How much for all of these? And I pull out my gold purse.
Oh, the books aren't for sale.
Oh, I thought this. I'm sorry, ma'am. I thought this was a shop.
No, people keep trying to buy my books, and it makes a certain amount of sense. I should probably put up signs or something, but no. I'm an enchantress, enchanter,
Oh,
enchant person. We're gonna go with
Ah.
enchant person. These are all for my library for learning up some good magics.
I see. Then,
Yeah, my area of specialty is I'm trying to make really powerful. You know how you have to attune to things, and you only have so much soul to go around, and it's really inconvenient. So my area of study here is trying to not have to do that. Kind of, I could. I'm gonna get into it. Okay, I'm gonna. Okay, here we go. Okay. So like. Enchanted items, if there aren't anything more complex than, really sharp, for example, if you were going to use a knife or a sword or most of those things, you need to attune to it. It needs access to your specific weave pattern in order to provide you the benefits, and it creates kind of a feedback loop. Letting the object do its thing. There are some exceptions to this rule, but in general, that's kind of how it works. But I'm working on stuff that doesn't need your pattern in order to do its thing. And to do that, I'm kind of got it set up where it backfeeds itself, weaving through multiple phases of magic, if that makes any kind of sense. So for example, if you wanted to cast fireball, you would normally consume your own magical resources. Your weave would become weaker, and you just strike the right notes, and there goes your fireball. And you can only do that so much because, well, you're only capable of using so much magic. But to use an analogy here, you could cast fireball, but you would get really cold because we have to siphon energy from the frost plane to offset. That's not really how it works, but it's close enough. I'm sure you understand, right?
well, I admit that I am not an expert in magical theory. It is fascinating, everything you're talking about.
Yeah, that's cool. Let me show you a practical example. And she reaches under her desk and pulls out a simple dagger, and she stabs it into the table. So this is the first one I made. It's kind of a proof of concept. It works exactly like a normal +2 weapon, to use the abstract nomenclature here. But it has a drawback. In order to do its thing, you also take anytime you take damage, it hurts a little bit more. So that's not great, but it's a way of offsetting it. The only big thing is, yeah, I made this thing as hey, we can make things that are cool. And Professor Zarius over in Mudwall was all, +2 weapons don't normally need any kind of drawback or attunement to work. They just kind of do their thing, and saying, oh well, this is just completely putting way more effort into something that is really simple, and maybe I should not do this. And it was kind of rude, and I told them, well, I don't need to be a part of your school. I'm just going to go and do this on my own. And he said, all right, well, that's unfortunate because you're really good at this, and we love you all very much. And I said, well, that's too bad, Victor. I'm not even going to call you professor anymore. And so I'm here now. What were we talking about?
You were explaining to me some of the your research.
Oh yeah. So I'm trying to make all these items. Well, I'm trying to make these items. I haven't really found the right resources yet. Basically, I need things that are maybe a little dangerous on their own, but definitely magical to properly make this kind of feedback loop work. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I came here because, well, the Tomb of Silence is out here, and Sararak loves cursed items, and basically what I'm trying to make is practical curses. So, so the tomb is definitely an interesting topic of study for me, and, if you're interested in that as well, I'm sure we could compare notes.
Well, actually, I'll tell you what. My party is going down into the Tomb of Silence at some point soon. But we need a little bit more information. What if you let me borrow these just for the day, and in return, I'll bring back, if anything, I find a magical cursed object or whatever you might like to study down there. I don't know. What exactly are you looking for?
Really, any substance that you can find that is magical and maybe dangerous to handle. Oh, that's a good point. Hold on just a second. And she dives under her desk, and you hear a great clattering and rummaging around, and she comes back up with 3 jars. They are glass, and they kind of got like a thick blue kind of fabric that's sticking out from where the lid meets the body of the jar, and she puts these. They're each of them about just a few inches in diameter. They're not very large, and she pushes them and she sets them on top of the books, and she says, "These are sample jars. You could take whatever you find, put them in that, and do it that way. It'll be safer to transport and handle, and probably if you find any cursed or otherwise dangerous objects of magical power, stick them in there, and that'll be the way to go."
Excellent. Thank you. So I'm all right to take these for now?
Oh yeah. That's fine. Let me just look through, and she quickly goes through the each of the books, and they're like, okay, yep, don't need that one, don't need that one, don't need that one. And she pauses at that leather book, and she's like, "Oh, I forgot I had this. This is not really related to the tomb, but sure, yeah, no, fine. That's cool. Here." And she sets it on top.
Thank you very much, madam. I will return these to you by the end of the day.
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
Is Ondo a cursed object?
Am I a cursed object? Can I submit myself?
Just submit yourself. Yeah.
I do turn to leave, though. I wave her goodbye.
And and you go to leave, and she's like, "Wait a second. Sorry, I kind of got ahead of myself, and what was your name?"
Forgive me. I am Ondo Arthantira.
Ondo. Okay. All right. Cool. My name is Kira. My name Kira Andromeda.
Kira Andromeda. Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, Cornelius is also here. And she points up to the ceiling. You'll probably see him this evening if you come back by.
Good. Hello, Cornelius.
The furry lump kind of shifts a little bit.
I nod and just leave with the books.
All right, you head out. So you got a stack of books. Where you going?
Well, I could go back with those, or I could do a little bit more shopping first. Are there any cool shops around that catch my eye?
You did see Sprockets and Bits earlier. They do have a big gear symbol on like their sign. Is like a gear, and then some straight iron, and then Sprockets and Bits, just kind of in bent metal over that.
I think everybody wants me to go to Sprockets and Bits.
There was also in Got This. I forget who actually went there. Was that you?
That was me.
Yeah. Yeah, Hidden Grotto, Sprockets and Bits. There is also. Oh, here it is. Yeah, Boot and Glove.
Boot and glove. Okay.
Looks like it's a general store of some kind.
All right. See, I don't actually know what's inside Sprockets and Bits, but Otto's intrigued just by the name because I'm sure he's made of Sprockets and Bits.
The modern ones definitely are.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I wander in that direction.
All right. Yeah, you head over to Sprockets and Bits, and the door is open.
Pop my head in, go inside.
Okay. Yep. It's a little bit hard to describe. There are parts all over the place. You see several telephones in various states of assembly. There is a box that you don't really recognize. It's just a bunch of technology. Nothing like you've ever really seen before, given your limited engagement in Wolus. But yeah, there is a young kind of. She's a gnome. She has white hair, sitting on a stool, and she says, "Welcome to Sprockets and Bits. I am Sprocket, and this is Bits." And she gestures down to a dog that is sleeping on a cushion.
Glorious.
And what can I do for you today?
Oh, hello. I'm just looking around, I suppose. What exactly do you sell here?
Oh, we are. I am. We are. We would take care of various things in town. Anything that needs repair that's mechanical in nature. Anything that came out of like Wolus. Anything that needs a little bit of TLC. And yeah, we're kind of the general service provider for the town here.
Otto is thinking about how he's not been functioning great, but he doesn't know how to ask. Take a look at me.
We got like refrigerators if you need a refrigerator. Got some phones if you need. There's only the one line that comes into town. I've been working on maybe getting a local switchboard set up, but we'd have to find somebody who wants to actually do that.
Do you have anything that might... I'm going into the Tomb of Silence probably later today. Is there anything that might assist an adventuring party in fighting evil?
Specifically evil or just in general?
Maybe just in general.
Oh, then for sure. Just a second. And she turns around and opens up a cabinet, and she pulls out a drawer that she then unlocks, and then a panel on the drawer lifts up like it's a storage compartment, and she hefts out this large object, which, to avoid describing it, is a gun. She says, yeah, this is a pretty reliable firearm. Put some holes in anything what needs holes in them.
I'm curious, is it like a flintlock musket pistol? Or not flintlock musket pistol, bayonet, whatever. Or is it like a Glock?
It is a short barrel shotgun.
Really hoping you were going to say it's a Glock.
Nope, nothing quite that advanced.
Oh, I see. Have I ever seen anything like a gun before?
Not even close.
Aha. This is very nice. Yes. How much does it cost?
This particular model is only 300 gold pieces.
Hmm. Well, I don't have that with me. I would have to think about that and go get that. Um, do you have
I've also
anything?
got some grenades.
Hmm. Do I know what a grenade is?
Nope. But she's already rummaging into another cabinet and pulls out a small cylinder. The outside of it's just really rough textured metal. Looks kind of like a pineapple variety of grenade.
How much are these?
These are 50 gold apiece.
Excellent. I'll take one for now.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, be very careful. I'm sure you're well aware of how these work, but you just twist this and then throw it, and it goes boom.
Ah, all right. Interesting. Um, this may be a strange question, but how much do you know about Warforged, ma'am?
Well, I've got a broken one in the back that I've been trying to get back online.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's kind of slow going. The magical core is looks like it's functional, but I'm just having some trouble getting it to talk to any of the other parts of it.
Um, this is well, I don't know if you'd allow, but I have a interest in Warforged. Do you think I might be able to take a quick look? I don't know if I could help, but it's
Sure. Come on back. And she hops off the stool and motions for you to follow her and opens the door behind the counter.
all right. Follow.
Yeah, you follow her into this back room. It's actually a little bit larger than the room you just left. It's this particular spot seems to be more of a part storage. It's vaguely reminiscent of the warehouse you woke up in. And she leads you back through just shelves and shelves and shelves of springs and sprockets and gears and just bar stock and metal and a whole bunch of stuff, and takes you to another room in the back. And she opens that door after unlocking it and ushers you inside. And sitting on, she turns on a light. And laying on a table is a metal person. Immediately, you recognize it as not the kind of Warforged that you are. I don't think you actually had the opportunity to actually see one of these before, but it's different. It does seem to be a primarily metal person. She's got the chest cavity opened up, and you see a lot of wires and things that aren't in you. And there's this kind of pulsing light that does seem a little more familiar. You kind of see like it's an artificial version of the magical core that is encapsulated in your form. But this thing is just, it seems inert, laying on the table. And give me a perception check.
All right. 17.
17. Yeah, you look around and there are a few spare, like, Warforged heads just sitting on shelves. Various other spare parts. Judging from what you see on the shelves, she's got, enough scrap, so to speak, that she probably could assemble like 3 or 4 complete Warforged sans core, just of what she's got here. The other thing you notice is there are an awful lot of pictures of Andy up on the walls.
Aw.
Like there's a large poster. All of it seems to be like some of it's just like a painting, not really a painting, but it's definitely a poster. the art pieces of this man. But yeah, a lot of photographs where he's not really looking at the camera, kind of a thing.
I think Otto sees this and he gets kind of excited. He's like, "Oh, you know Sir Andy."
The engineer, yeah. I didn't really anticipate anyone being back here and did not think this through. Yeah, he's great. He's a real pioneer of our time. I got the chance to meet him a while ago, and he's just super cool and knows a lot of stuff, and inspired me to pursue what my work here. I guess you could say. You met him?
Yes, I just a couple weeks ago. He hmm, he was the one who found me. Well, brought me back anyway.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Wow. Where were you?
I was buried. I'm a warforged, but not the sort of warforged you're familiar with.
And she's kind of looking at you. Oh, are you the guy in the tank?
Wait, yes, that was me. I was in a tank.
Amazing. Wow, you're up and running around. I didn't think that would ever you would ever be moving. That's incredible. Yeah, your construction's really unusual, and I don't think I could really ever reproduce it. Some of the fundamentals are similar, but no, yeah, you're a whole other thing. That's but I'm glad to see you're awake. He was really worried about what, you, I guess.
Oh, really? I'm not used to people expressing such things for my kind. That's a little strange.
That sounds really sad, but okay. But yeah, he definitely was worried, and but I'm glad that you're up and running too. Like that's really interesting. You're kind of like a living piece of history, and history is cool.
Yes. So I don't the warforged on the table. I suppose there's not much I can do for that. We're similar, but Andy was right. They're really not anything like me, are they?
Yeah, not really. Like the core theory is similar. There's a magical thinking core that creates, the facsimile of both the soul and the neurons to kind of operate the frame, but everything else is this is more circuitry and physics, and you're more magic and mysticism.
Is there any magic at all involved in this construction?
A surprising amount. Yeah, he's really great he'd be a really powerful wizard if he was able to interface with the weave at all. But unfortunately, instead, he kind of has to rely on other magically inclined people to really bring his designs to life. In this case, yeah, there's magical circuitry here to provide basic animation to the frame. Um, it's not quite like the other technology that I have here in the office. It's definitely a blending of both. And that's kind of where I'm stuck is getting the core access to the magical circuitry of the rest of the frame. It's just not matching up. I'm missing something important.
Can I think of anything that might help her, or am I just not? I am just a different type of warforged.
Give me an intelligence check.
All right. 20. but not 19, just 18 plus 2.
Nice. Yeah, you're kind of regarding your own form, and it strikes you that you are sort of in a similar situation. You can't control your body without Akaros kind of running interfacing for you. Is kind of how you understand the role. Like, it left and you weren't able to move, and it seems to be bridging a gap, so to speak. So looking at this thing lying on the table, the core has power, the body has function, but there's just, it's not matching up. And the idea strikes you that if it were possible to provide some kind of medium to bridge the two, more than just making sure everything is square peg, square hole, that maybe it could be revived.
Miss, I do have somewhat of an idea, but it's not much. The only reason I'm functioning today, more than just Andy bringing me back, there seems to be another power source keeping me here, holding me sort of together between the physical and the not physical bits. I think what you might need is some sort of interim.
So like some kind of magic soul glue?
Yes. Yes. Or some sort of way of some sort of outside way of connecting the two. I'll admit, I don't actually know how this Warforged works, but that's how I came to be again.
Interesting. It's an interesting line of thought. I'll take it under consideration. Yeah, that's really interesting. And she's just kind of staring at the robot laid out as it is.
How did it end up like this?
I found it. It was broken down. I assume that it had traveled after being released, so to speak, and it ended up in a non-functioning state. And on my way down here, I picked it up off the side of the road. Really.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, it's not great, but we're gonna try to get him back up and running.
I hope one day to meet one of these new Warforged that are functioning.
Well, yeah, if you ever find your way back in Wollis, they're definitely around.
Well, thank you for showing me this. I should probably get going soon, but
Oh, of course, of course. I don't mean to keep you. Thank you for your insights and your purchase. And she motions for you to towards the door and leads you out.
yes, let me know if you make any progress on your project.
I will definitely do that.
And I wave her goodbye. Take my grenade and my books back to the inn.
Yeah, so your grenade deals 3d10 damage. It requires a dexterity saving throw, and it has a range of it's like you can throw it up to 30 feet kind of a thing, and then it affects anything within 10 feet of wherever you hit it.
10-foot radius or
10 foot radius.
Cool.